www.waynebrady.com. Take a listen to some of the songs. Go to iTunes and check out everything.
Well, listen, I know today you're in LA, but I go back to the beginning, man. You wrote all those songs, man.
Matt Kenyatta, he has a camera.
That's a God-given thing, and then you be able to express your lyrics in your own soul. That's got to be wonderful.
At the same time. That man, he works hard. Give him a raise. At least a $3 an hour.
Ain't no sunshine unless Bill Withers is in town. My man.
Give it to
Bill Withers, by the way, Bill, what you got to do is just take some pictures of
money
here, okay?
You have money.
Give it to him, Wayne.
Can I just get a quick promo?
Can I get your autograph, please, Wayne?
Grammy nominated artist, my man Kenny Lattimore, my man. Look how good you look. Kenny. There you go.
No, I'm good. Brady, and you were tuned in to 6 ABC. Norman? Yes. I love you.
Kenny's going to be doing a tribute tonight, ladies and gentlemen, to Donny Hathaway.
Thank you. God bless you. Brother. Thank you very much.
My name's Mike Dennis.
Hey, Mike.
I have a thing called Real Black TV. We shot a movie of yours called The List.
Oh, yeah, with Sidney Tamaya, yeah.
Can you just tell, 3 questions real quick?
Okay, three fast ones, because I want to be able to sing. Amazing. Like I've been telling other folks, I'm here as a fan first and foremost. I think in life, it's nice to be lucky enough to love the thing that you're doing. And in this case, I love what I'm doing here tonight because I get to see all of these acts and to be a part of Soul at Ground Zero. Gamblin' Huff did this. I was invited. I get to sing in the tribute to Donny Hathaway with Kenny Lattimore. I get to see Teena Marie, Dionne Warwick, Bill Withers. This is big for me. This is really big.
So what are you most looking forward to?
What I'm most looking forward to, the concert aspect of it. That I'm gonna go back and grab a seat and I'm gonna watch. Then I run up and go, hey, blah 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 blah, and then I'm gonna go back again. Because this is one of those shows that it doesn't happen every day, and it's gonna be a good memory. So.
Patty, did you see Genie, Mr. Big Stuff?
I've got an animated project. I think that's coming out in January. We hope it's called. Wow, it's been so long that I forget. It's called Food Fight. It's myself, Charlie Sheen, Eva Longoria, a couple of others. It's gonna be really funny. But I've got an album called Long Time Coming. That's in the stores September 16th. There's a single right now called Ordinary. That's on iTunes. It's doing really, really well. And you can go to my website, waynebrady.com, and check out the music.
It went for these wonderful artists.
Yes, sir.
Last thing, you just stare right into my lens, say your name, and say you're watching Real Black.
Hey, this is Wayne Brady, and you're watching Real Black.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, this young lady that I'm about to introduce to you is the heart and soul of the Rhythm and Blues Foundation. I have never worked with anyone that has worked so hard to make this thing such a gigantic success in Philadelphia. This young lady, and I just call her my love, Patricia. Thank you. Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan, she's here. Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan. Gotta take some pictures, Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan. Ladies and gentlemen, she has arrived. The legendary Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan.
So you're one of the honorees here.
Look how good
what
you
does
look.
this mean to you, being here and being a part of this?
It's nice. It's very nice. You know, better to be honored than not. No, it's flattery, so you have to, you know.
And what does this mean you're having with Rhythm and Blues Foundation? Gamble and Huff worked really hard to get this year, and what does this mean to you? What do you think of all this?
Chaka Khan,
Well,
Chaka Khan.
the best part is I went to see Kenny Gamble today, and he had this nice chair, so I said, Kenny, you're going to have to give up the chair. So he let me sit in the chair.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to begin.
And what's it like?
Inside.
What do you think of having a Rhythm and
We want to
Blues
thank all of
Foundation,
you people,
A lot of people have said, hey, this
especially
is like our
Philadelphia, for the
Hall of
support
Fame
that
right
you've
here.
given all these wonderful artists.
Well, I think
Could not have been done without
best
all these
work
wonderful
that
workers
they
that
do
are here
is
tonight. The workers
help
who
out
work
people
with
who,
Philly International, the workers that work
you
with
know,
our
in the
girl
past
Patty.
got bad deals and stuff,
And
and they
without
kind
your
of shore 'em
support,
up. So it's,
it could not happen.
you know, it's a
And remember
supportive
that
thing that
when you go home tonight,
that
and
helps some
anytime you
people
turn
hold
on the
on to
radio,
their dignity.
you will know that the music
You
you
know,
are
if you have some
listening
health
to
problems or
was
something.
created by these wonderful people
So I think that's
who have been inducted
that in
in the
itself
past,
makes it worthwhile.
who will be inducted in the future.
All right, bud.
These are the true legendary people of the music industry.
Similar.
Because a
How did
day
it feel
without
when you
music
got
is
to
a
know
day
the
without
news that you're
sunshine.
going to be honored tonight?
And the R&B Foundation thanks you all for your support.
Well, first I
I want
said,
you to know
ask
that
my
this
wife,
is
do
just
I
the
have a
beginning.
suit that fits?
Every year,
no,
look
it's
forward
very
to a
nice.
magnificent gala
It's
right here
flattering,
in
you know.
Philadelphia,
And
the
I
new
mean,
home.
I mean, you
of the
kinda, I
R&B
read the Wax Poetics
Foundation.
article. You kind of left the music industry on your own terms.
Well, I didn't leave anything. I'm just me, and you know, you don't see yourself. You know, other people, you're just inside yourself living. So I haven't really left anything. I just do different, you know, I just go about it maybe on my own terms rather than the traditional, you know, running around the country
So you're still
playing
making music.
gigs all over. Yeah, you know, I mean, some people can do it, but I'm 70 years old, and the thought of catching airplanes every other day or something just, you know, and probably because I can, you know, being a songwriter, then I have other options that allow me to stay at home if I want to. And that's just my DNA, you know. Next year I might go crazy and decide I want a lot of people to see me, and, you know, you might get sick of me, so.
Well, so finally tonight, having this attention brought to you and your legacy, is that might inspire you to share some more of your work with us?
No, well, see, I'm at the age, when you get this way, you get to the age of mortality. So people start getting really nice to you, you know, after there are rumors that you might be dead. My wife probably gets a call a month inquiring about my death. Jesse Jackson called not too long ago to see if I had died. And it's funny because now he's in the hospital, so you never know.
So you're the survivor.
So I got to tease him about that.
Okay, all right, final. I think, can you just stay right to my lens?
Yes.
Say your name and say you're watching Real Black.
Watching.
Real Black, R-E-E-L.
Okay. Hi, this is Bill Withers, and you're watching Real Black.
Thank you so much. Congratulations on this.
Thank you, bud.
First recording experience back in the 80s. With the flat top.
Well, I've had stuff on Jimmy Buffett's album, you know, the music, I mean, I do music, you know, whenever it strikes me. It's not like I've stopped doing it, I just don't go show up myself, you know.
I don't think you'd be showing up yourself.
No, I mean, I just don't show up in
person.
personally.
If someone was to go to your house and lift up, go into your music room or wherever you, would they find a ton of unreleased Bill Withers material that you're tinkering on and just doing for the fun of doing it?
They would find some things, not, you know, not a whole bunch, but enough, you know.
What's in Bill Withers' iPod?
I'm 70 years old. I don't have an iPod.
What do you listen to?
Vinyl.
The motor in the car.
All right, I got one for you. You have to answer this one. If they were making a movie of your life, what would the scenes be that everyone would be talking about the next day after seeing the movie?
The nude.
Oh.
Alright,
Good
Chaka
answer.
coming up.
I don't have a follow-up for that.
Okay, if you're ready to go in, I'll escort you in. As I was telling you earlier, I'm one of the volunteers with Rhythm and Blues, and welcome.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up to the press room and see what I gotta do.
Out your way, go ahead.
You ain't lying. Thank you.
I'm coming out.
All in the way.
Okay.
My mother really loved it.
Is she here?
This was for good reason.
Is she here?
No.
Okay. Hi, how are you? My name's Neil from our ABC's News.
Hi, what does it, and this is Donny from Fox, what does it mean to you being here tonight? You know, a lot of people say this is making history here, you know, tonight, and what does this mean to you?
It means everything, because I believe that God put me in a way and gave me a large circle of influence as a singer so that I could be of service in some way to people who need help. And that's what I'm doing with my foundation.
You did a good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
And what does that mean to you, having a Rhythm and Blues foundation that's helping people? It's, you know, what does this foundation
It all ties in really. Alman Erdogan and I he was like my uncle. And he was one of the people that started this whole foundation, thing. And I'm just honored to be honored. Does it make sense?
Totally fine.
What a lot of people are saying, hey, this is like our Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's about time it gets, it gets a little more recognition. What are your thoughts?
You're absolutely right, because there are a lot of black people who are doing a great deal in the community and do need recognition, and we deserve it.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hey, can you just do me a favor? Can you look in the camera and say hi?
CD is coming out in November, and he's coming to Philadelphia to sing. He made us that promise.
I will come to sing. And my wife will be with me. The McMillan Stories, her album, it's out. You can get it on iTunes coming up, and you can get it also on Tasha M.
So you
Hamilton.
guys get a package deal.
This woman, y'all think I can sing.
Yeah.
I shut up when she started. I ain't gonna embarrass myself.
Well, we look forward to the project, and thank you very
All
much.
right, and I'll send it to you too.
Alrighty, thank
All
you.
right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Oh, okay.
Camera guy, late,
Bill, you know how it
black
is.
TV. But trust me, it's gonna look good on YouTube.
All right.
All right, so just introduce yourself and tell us what brings you out here tonight.
Well, what brings me out here tonight? All these festivities bring me out here tonight. All these people. Actually, we came out to pay homage to some great entertainers and music pioneers tonight, and I'm gonna do a tribute to Bill Withers and for the Rhythm and Blues Foundation, and you know what I mean, and keep it going, keep the torch going. So I'm gonna come out, celebrate, sing a break, eat a break.
Okay.
So we're gonna do all that good stuff.
Bill Withers,
Yeah, Bill Withers.
obviously a legend, somebody that you don't get to run into every day.
No, you don't, but we need to see more of him because he's done so much for the community with the music. So we're gonna get him out. We're gonna get him out of the house. Ain't that right? We're gonna get him out.
Puts him into doing a comeback CD.
Well, he may, or do a song or two, but I think he's getting it back in his bones now. So.
All right, I trust you to do that. So talk about your new project.
Well, my new project is coming out November the 18th. It's entitled The Point of It All, and inspired by my beautiful wife who has an album, The McMillan Story. You can get it on TashaMHamilton.com, and it'll soon be on iTunes as well. It's amazing. It's like my first album, but mine, I'm coming out with a little more up tempos and trying to dance a little bit this time. Still some great ballads and still heartfelt, heart-wrenching, songs. So.
All right, and the last thing, we're working on a documentary on the neo-soul era, the Black Lily era.
So I'm familiar with Black Lily.
Did you get a chance to perform at Black Lily?
Oh yeah, a lot.
Tell us a little.
Yeah. Well, I performed at Black Lily back in the day, and that's when Jasmine Sullivan was 14. I was on tour with D'Angelo and the Voodoo Tour. I met James Poyser and all those cats, so they took me up there, Mir and all those. Tiger, Jaguar, Lalah. So we all would be up there jamming, having a good time. So I learned a lot. That's where I met music, Soul Child, way back. I think it was called, before it was the 5 spot, what was it called?
I don't know, it was the 5 spot the whole time.
Yeah, it was something else. The Black Lily used to be something else. And I met, that's where I met. It wasn't Wilhelmina's, was it? Or whatever it was. Could have been. Well, whatever it was, I met everybody. We had a good time.
And what's so unique about that particular?
Well, everybody comes in there it's about the music. It's not about egos. It's not about stuff that doesn't have anything to do with having a good time. It's always peaceful vibe. Everybody vibed out, So that was good.
And the last thing is just a shout out. We could look into the lens. If you could both do it, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
Say your names and then say you're watching the Real Black.
Real Black. RealBlack.com.
You got to say the .com or Real Black?
Just Real Black.
Okay. Hey, what's up? This is Anthony Hamilton.
And Tarsha McMillan Hamilton.
And you're watching
Real Black.
Real Black, y'all.
Venice, Harlem. Around 1977, the singer-songwriter producer was in her early 20s, and she landed a job at Motown Records. It was at Motown that she met her mentor, Rick James, who ended up doing all of the writing and producing for her debut album, Wild and Peaceful. That LP boasted her hit duet with, oh, you can clap. By her third album, Irons in the Fire, Marie was doing most of her own writing and producing.
Do we have questions?
That's money. That album boasted the major hit,
What is this night?
I Need Your Lovin'. And Marie went gold again with her next album, It Must Be Magic, which included the major hit, Square Biz.
In the music business.
With Lover Girl, Teena soared to the
is,
top of both the R&B and pop charts.
Better than a million.
Please welcome 2008
Thank you so much.
Pioneer Award honoree,
questions?
the explosive and my friend, Miss Teena Marie.
Studio right now, cutting my first DVD live. Okay. Okay, it's Jasmine, Jasman Records. One word, JasmineRecords.com. You pick it up, you can see, where I'm gigging and my history, everything. JasmineRecords.com.
Yes, I do have a question here. Amazing performance. Thank you so much. And my condolences to your husband's death, which is coming up.
Thank you.
Can you just share with us what it was like touring on those reviews with Johnny Otis and James Brown?
Oh, boy. To me, it was a blessing because in touring with them, that gave me, it took me further in music. You know what I mean? It was important to me, and I think that by them having the big names that they had at that time, when I was with them, it helped to further. Right. Oh, please. It got boring after a while, every night, 6 nights a week, one night for 1,000-mile traveling, It got pretty rough, but hey, I can hack it, because I can hack it today. Still do. I don't have too much advice to give to them. It's certainly proud. Yeah, I am. It took me 56 years to get here, where somebody would recognize my artistry. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Sugar Pie DeSanto.
Thank you.
Got it?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
One more time.
Okay, question. Where's the... Do we have one mic? Okay. When we're done, if we could go to the right again, please. Thank you. And then we'll be taking questions. We have one microphone. Do we have questions, anyone? Okay. Questions, Kim? No, you good? Okay. Well, as he gets set up when we ask that question. Are you ready, sir? Everyone let the cameras get a chance to get some B-roll. And if we have questions, we can start.
How does it feel, fellas, to get this prestigious award?
Well, as I said when we got it, it's an honor for us. I mean, we're just elated to be involved with an organization like the Rhythm and Blues Foundation. They're into rhythm and blues, and that's what we've been into all our life. So we feel like we just have reached the top of the mountain to be included.
Which one is Walter and which one is Scotty?
I'm Walter. And that's Scotty.
That's Scotty, okay. Now, you guys have been in the business, what, like 40-something years?
That's right.
Did you think it would last this long and that you'd still be going strong 40 years later?
Let me tell you what the joke is. We always say to ourselves, they pay us, they just don't know we would have paid them.
Okay, okay.
That's how much we love what we do. We think we're blessed.
Okay.
Can we just get a roll call of the other members' names also, please?
My name is Nicholas Caldwell.
Scotty Scott.
And Lavelle Degree.
How's 4 years only doing?
It's doing great. What it shows you is that even with the radio not being as active as we'd like for it to, our fans more than make up for it. We're the most blessed group as far as we're concerned on the earth. The fans took care of it. It's doing great. And we're very appreciative.
Some very humble brothers.
Thank you. Thank you.
You took very good care of us too. I mean,
Hey.
Philadelphia, you come here.
Oh, man, of all. Let me tell you.
Atlantic City.
Oh.
Ogontz Avenue. Every time.
Oh, let me tell you.
Give us the best show that
Oh, man, to get this award in the city of Philadelphia, that's the top of the mountain, let me tell you.
you take care of us.
We have a question back there, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Whispers. Let me say this for everybody. The mighty whispers. The mighty whispers.
Thank you, brother.
Please.
I love some of the early stuff that you guys want to put in your show.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Oh, man, we do. Absolutely.
That kind of stuff we love in your shows. Nothing wrong with rock steady.
Absolutely. I hear you. I hear you. No, yeah. All right. Yeah, and you know what? On that note, let me tell you, we've just finished a DVD it's a Christmas DVD. And as you know, we have 2 albums. You notice I'm saying albums, not CDs. We have 2 albums that span over 30 years of nothing but Christmas songs, and we are performing 11 of them on a new DVD. And this goes back to the late 70s. So it's great.
Give us your website.
It's called
Whispers.com?
thewhispers.com.
Okay. You have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question.
It's up, Smart.
You don't need a mic. While you're up here, we know that Soul Train, Don Cornelius is planning to redevelop the Soul Train franchise. And also, we've read that there were a good chance some of the past performances of the show will be coming out of all video on DVD. Could you update us on what you know about
We just heard that he sold it to someone, and we have been contacted about possibly being involved in a documentary about Soul Train, and we're looking forward to that.
Congratulations, fellas.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No, what I was going to ask you, just see you guys at so many different shows, knowing most of your fan base, the fan clubs and all of that. And you hear so much nonsense with like the artists today with cooperation with the people, with so many problems. You've been doing it for so long. How do you maintain that love for it? Because every time I see your brother, they doing nothing but spinning and smiling. How do you maintain that grind and still keep that love?
On our new CD, Nicholas behind me here wrote a song called "The Whispers Love You Too," and that's why it's real simple. We understand, what we do and who we are, and if without the fans, forget it. It's as simple. I mean, so we don't take it for granted. There's a reason why we've been here 40 plus years, and that's because the fans and the man upstairs. Those two things. That's why we do what we do.
Did y'all know that the Whispers have one of the largest internet fan clubs?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yes, indeed.
Why don't you guys tell these people so that they can tell their readers how their readers can join the Whispers fan club?
Hey, it's real simple. TheWhispers.com. That's it.
We have a question over there, this young lady.
To me, well, you get four different. I mean, when I got here this evening, I was surrounded by people that I grew up admiring, and to be in the same building with people like Aretha Franklin and Sugar Pie DeSanto. This is what it warms my heart, because years ago we worked with her, and she came along in the era of Etta James, and all these people went on to be great, and she went on to be great, but not quite as big as them. But to see her here tonight and receive what she deserves with all of her heart, that's what made me feel so good. I'm telling you.
Also, you guys today earlier. You should be proud of a young man. I mean, they've been calling his name all night, but as far as I'm concerned, they can't call it enough. Kenneth Gamble. Simple, common sense. Keep it simple. Stupid is Kenny. Really. I mean, and so people like him, and Anthony Hampton, who I just met for the first time last night, like Walt said, being in the room and being mentioned with these people is just an extreme honor.
And the other thing that comes to mind to me is when I look around and see all these people that we don't get a chance to congregate in such mass numbers as we do here. I also think about all those that are no longer present with us. And it lets me know how blessed I think we all are to be here to share this one more day. And my prayer is that we take that jubilee that we have in our hearts to tomorrow and try to keep in touch with some of these people that we see once a year.
What's on the agenda for the Whispers? Now, you guys have accomplished pretty much everything that you can accomplish. I know that there's more to accomplish. What's next? What's on the agenda for you guys?
Well, the immediate thing is the excitement of our Christmas DVD that's coming out. And we tour pretty much every year. If you remember, we took the shot at having our own label. We tried that, wanted it to work very, very badly. It didn't. But we're going to be around as long as we can do it in a quality way. The one thing that we've always said is that if you're honest with yourself when it's time to go. We don't think it's time to go yet. We still think we can be here and do it at a level that makes you enjoy what we do. Oh, thank you. We're going to do it anyway. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you still have the original band?
Most of the members in our band today have been with us 20 plus years. Everybody is, yeah. I'm trying to think, is Grady here? No. He's not? Yeah, they've been with us pretty much. I mean, what you see on stage has been there for the past 20, 25 years. Yeah.
Congratulations to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
The
We appreciate it.
Whispers.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
award shot with the award or no?
Yeah. Definitely.
With the mic.
With the mic. Can they have
with the mic?
Okay.
Not in my face, though.
Okay. All right, there it is. Is this cool? All right.
You good, brother?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hold it, Scotty.
No, they come down with the water.
He wants the mic in there. Okay. Here you go. Watch it. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it.
Lawrence hates it. Give me the deal. I go back to Philadelphia on a little station called WCAM. I start to play this record called Don't Make Me Over. The phones go off the hook. Florence Greenberg calls me up 2 days later and says, "What are you doing?"
Okay, thank you so much, the Whisperers. We're just going to get Teena. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, center stage. You want with the award?
Yeah, with the award.
Teena.
Scotty and Walter, you guys, thank you for taking my song and turning it into something really special. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this with cooperation. Center, please. Let's go to the right. And over here to the left.
Give it to him again.
Square big, baby. Square big.
Down here. Okay, we're going to take some questions. Do we have questions?
Can I have a chair?
We have a chair. Can we get a chair for Miss Chair, please? We got a chair. We got a chair. Okay, let me take this. Ooh, where's her box?
What's wrong with your mic?
Here, you can
give him another mic.
I basically just have one question. I've been following your career for some time. How did you develop the style that you have now?
My mother and father had really, really great musical taste. I have 5 brothers and sisters, and everybody was listening to something different. I'm the baby girl. My sister loved Motown, my older sister. My brother loved the San Francisco stuff, Otis Redding, Sly and the Family Stone, everything that came out of the Bay Area. My other sister loved pop music, and I kind of absorbed all of it. My mother and father listened to a lot of jazz, Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald. Friday nights we would have record night, and they would just play all these different musics, and we would dance and sing and just have a great time with my family.
Thank you so much.
Do we have any additional questions?
Hi, Teena. It's Bob Davis from Soul Patrol, and I just wanted to let you know that I went to go see you at the Del East last summer when you turned it out here in Philly. And, you know, she really did. She turned it out. The crowd went nuts. I know. She just turned it out. And, you know, I just got so excited by 2 things. Number one, the tribute you did to Rick James during the show was fantastic. So, you know, I hope you continue to do that in the show so people can remember how great an artist Rick James was. So that was fantastic. And the other thing was I went around the audience and asked people and said, well, you know, Teena Marie's a white artist. How come y'all love Teena Marie so much? And people just said, you know what? She's one of us. And to me, that's like the greatest compliment that black people could pay to a white artist. So, you know, people just love you, and I just hope that, you know, people continue to do that and continue to give you the props that you deserve. Okay?
Thank you. First of all, I do Rick's music now as well because I feel like when people say Teena Marie, they say Rick James. When they say Rick James, they say Teena Marie. So I feel like I'm the closest person to him that's still on this earth. So I feel like I have to represent my music as well as his legacy and let people remember that, you know, that this man didn't just write Super Freak. He also wrote Fire and Desire. He also wrote Ebony Eyes for him and Smokey Robinson. He also wrote all the Mary Jane Girls music. He also wrote Standing on the Top by the Temptations, you know, and thank you, Teardrops. I mean, he was a great songwriter. He wrote Deja Vu with me. And he's my brother, he's my musical soulmate, and I have to give him all the honor, always. And second of all, thank you for the compliment. Since the very beginning, when Mr. Gordy decided not to put my picture on the album cover because he wanted people to judge the music at its own merit. And thank you. And it worked. I mean, I don't, and this by the second album, when my picture was on the cover, I've had friends that I know now that I didn't know back then that would say, you know, when I first heard you, I picked up the Lady T album, and you know, I went down there to get it, and I called my friend because I told her, you know what, they got this white woman on Teena Marie album cover, and she said she's really pretty, but you know what, they made a mistake. And my friend told her, she said, no, that's Teena Marie. She said, no, Teena Marie is a chocolate sister with shells in her hair, you know. So I have always been embraced by the black community, and that's what I love the most. It's just been a beautiful thing, and I think that's what's always separated me from some of the other, I guess, so-called blue-eyed soul singers. But
I get a lot of people writing into me that are always trying to tell me about some brand new quote-unquote blue-eyed soul artist. And I tell them, when that blue-eyed soul artist gets to the level of acceptance in the black community that Teena Marie has, then come talk to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have another question over here, Ms. Marie.
Okay, first of all, I want to congratulate you on a record that a lot of people I haven't heard about. The one you did with Howard Hewitt.
Oh, it's not out yet.
I heard it.
Thank you. You did?
Yeah.
When did you hear it?
A while ago.
Really? Where were you?
It was on the radio.
In New York?
Actually, in New York.
Oh yeah. That's coming out in 2009.
Right,
It's called Lover's Lane, and it's a duet on my new CD with Howard Hewitt. Yes, Howard's amazing, and I think we brought a lot of magic to it.
What was your feeling about the doing the Al Green song over? Coming back, but still loving you.
You know what's really funny? I didn't know it was an Al Green song. Because had I known it was an Al Green song, I would have approached the whole concept in a different way. That particular song, Still in Love, the sample was from a song off that was on one of the B-sides. Yes, and I had never heard that song. Obviously, I know all the hits, but I had never heard that song because they never played that on the radio. So when Cash Money brought the track to me, I thought I was actually writing with Cash Money, but I was writing with the Reverend Al Green, and it came out beautiful.
Oh, I just want to know what this what this award meant to you.
It was really overwhelming being out there tonight. Next year's my 30th year in the music business, and to get a Pioneer Award because I am a songwriter, because for the gentleman that just talked to me, for those reasons as well, to be accepted by the R&B black community, to be the first female rapper. There's a lot of firsts that they look at me as, and it's very humbling, and it's just a gift. It's a gift from God, and I have to give God the glory because, like I said when I was out there, everything that I ever asked Him for, He's given me.
I have another question. Are you still with Cash Money or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do we have any additional questions?
But I just wanted to add to something Bob said earlier. I was one of the promoters during the time when that particular album came out, and we were circulating our product around the radio, and people just didn't know. They loved the voice. I remember when you came here in Philadelphia, you played with the Spectrum, and when you came out
With Rick.
everybody just said, remember what you sang? Everybody else was quiet. So I just wanted to congratulate you and wish you much success.
Thank you. You know, I think that everybody should really just do what's in their heart and soul. Some of the greatest opera singers are black women. They should not be told that they cannot sing opera because they're black women and they're supposed to have the soul of Aretha Franklin, or, you know, you're supposed to sing what's the soul that reverberates from within you, and that's what I do.
Teena Marie, as a Motown artist, next year Motown is coming up on its official 50th anniversary, and there'll be some celebrations. First of all, tell us your feeling on the role of Motown in American pop music. And second of all, will you be involved with any of the Motown 50 events that are being put together?
Yes, I will. I already started it off in October. I did I was the talent for the museum. They had their first kickoff in October at the museum. It was the museum's 50th anniversary. Yes, I will be going on the road with the rest of the Motown artists. They're going to try to do the Motown Review again, and I think it's going to be really awesome. As a little girl, in America, being 7, 8 years old and standing in front of the TV, watching the Supremes on Ed Sullivan, just like every other little girl in America, I wanted to be in the Supremes. And their legacy, it's a monument, and there's not enough words that I can say about what Berry Gordy's done for the world, what Berry Gordy has done for the black community, and what he really did for my life as well. Because I'm his baby. I'm the baby. I'm the Motown baby. I'm second generation. So, like I said out there, I would look at the Detroit label and I would wish that, you know, I could go to Detroit, and then all of a sudden they moved to LA and they came to me. And so I got to be there with Rick and Commodores and Switch and DeBarge and all the second generation babies.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Teena Marie.
Thank you. Thank you.
You find yourself giving people something that cures, you know, sadness, depression. So I learned how to channel that energy from those cats. Nowadays we don't do nothing but popping. You know what I mean? So I went back to the old school, got me some dance moves. But I can moonwalk if anybody will ask me that. What? I can. All that. All right, y'all. Any more questions? Yes, ma'am. Well, I use producers Mark Batson, who did Charlene and Can't Let Go, Sister Big Bones. I've worked with James Poyser here from Philly, Colvin Wooten, who's did Pass Me Over from Huntsville, Alabama, the Eulah brothers. Yes, ma'am. And I worked with Alicia Keys' crew, Carrie and Alicia. They did some. So now we just wind it down to see which ones are gonna make it. Yeah, I might not do the ones that are expensive. I'm gonna try to save some of that money.
Do we have any? I'm sorry, Anthony. Any more questions?
Yes,
boy, we have one
here
here
and
one here, okay?
I think I might have you by about.
Yeah. You by 4 basements. You got me by 4 basements.
My favorite song is Charlene.
Thank you.
What I always want to know is the motivation behind it, inspiration, and if you find Charlene, was Charlene on the red carpet or the blue carpet?
No. That was the cure for the Charlene days. My wife, she's Tarsha Hamilton, and she's amazing. Actually, Charlene was in a point in my life where I was, relationship was breaking up, and the person was wanting to have more of me than I was able to put in my music, and I felt like it was unbalanced. So I love this person, but I had to really, my first love was my music, and that was the torn between, like, okay, I love you, but you know I really love this music, and this is what I'm gonna do. And if that means I'm have to give this space and go through that pain, then I'm gonna do it, because I can't stop singing, and I can't slow down. So.
We have one more question, and then.
No problem, bro. How you doing, ma'am? Well, I'm going to address the first one. It was amazing to be part of that movie. Actually, I was on screen. It was my first time ever being in a movie of any caliber. So that was amazing, my first time. I felt like, okay, maybe I'm doing something. I'm doing something big. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I'm from. We, kind of had the theater blocked off for me and my family and friends to go out. We had to buy the ticket, but we all went at the same time. And it was great. It was a great accomplishment. My sons, my mom, and everybody had a chance to see that. So it was more than just being in a movie. It was allowing them to see that, coming from where I'm from, like, and not having all the things that some people have at a young age, and coming up through whatever struggles, you can achieve it. You can do it. You can do it. You have to just be focused and faithful to the plan, and wear them knees out. And also foundations. I have one called Help, Healing Every Little Problem, that we're just now starting to get to try to help with, like, AIDS or whatever it may be, whatever help is needed. We try to focus on it, talking to the kids in the school, music programs, high blood pressure. There's a one called Taste, Take a Step to Elevate. I want to use to teach people how to eat properly and how to cook their food and prepare it, because being African American or whatever, we think it's about putting all the salt in one pot, which ain't really true. And everything doesn't have to be fried, and you don't have to cook your vegetables all day, because at that moment you drinking water. So a lot of people don't know any better, like how to properly treat themselves with vitamins and supplements and stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Hamilton.
Thank y'all. I had a good time.
We're going to stay here for Bill Withers, okay?
Okay.
Our next, today, our individual recipient award, Mr. Bill Withers. Let's give him a round of applause, please. And we'd like to get them together.
You snuck in here on me, didn't you?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't know you were African American.
Turn around, gentlemen. All right, let's start with the right, please.
Thanks, man.
With the right. Yeah, but I gotta work.
Just in the nick of time, you can't do that though, did you?
Let's do right, please. Let's do right. We're gonna do right first. We're gonna do right.
Oh, I was holding your arm down.
Great. Let's go center.
I want them flashbacks.
Boy, I tell you. The first time I did this, man, it felt so crazy.
And over here to the left.
I don't know which flash is fastest, dude.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hamilton. We're gonna get some with Mr. Withers, okay?
Thank you, man, for helping a brother out, you know what I mean, at this time of need.
We'll hold the microphone for you for questions, and we'll do photos again by yourself, okay?
Okay.
All right. Let's start with center for Mr. Bill Withers.
Right here, sir.
And Mr. Withers to the right, please. And over here to the left.
I can do left and right, but the center has always eluded me most of my life. It's good to see you.
We got it. We got it. Trust us. And we're going to do questions now, okay? So does anyone have questions? Ladies and gentlemen, are there any questions for Mr. Withers? Okay, we're going to start with the lady first. April, please. Shh. Shh.
Well, somebody said that all awards belong to the givers. So if somebody is nice enough to find something in you that they feel that's worth honoring, it's flattery. You know, no matter how many times it happens or where it comes from. Insofar as that music, my wife, that's her job. She has an office and she licenses all that stuff, and I go back and forth to the Home Depot.
Okay, can you do? I gotta go change.
And if they don't have what I'm looking for at the first Home Depot, I got a backup Home Depot. And then I try to keep up to date on as much other nonsense as I can. No, I was teasing, sure. So, you know, I mean, I'm 70 years old.
Oh, wow.
So if I worked, yeah.
Wow.
So if I worked in most jobs, you know, people, you know, my brother was a mailman. He wasn't working at 70. So if it's in your DNA, you know, some guys go out there and they hit it in their 80s. I think B.B. King is still working. If that's in your DNA. But I found it a little hard to be somebody's daddy if I was in Philadelphia and they were in L.A. You know, if they had made a remote control for kids, you'd have probably got tired of looking at me. You know what I mean?
Mr. Withers, I'll be happy. What was it? Can you put into words and tell us Grandma's Hands, Lean on Me? It was a whole different type of music that you brought out again. What was it in your mind that made you
taking over now?
produce your records like that?
No.
What gave you that drive?
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, what comes out of you is what's in you. A lot of times people talk about some of the stuff that these kids are writing now. And they say, well, why would somebody do that? It's because that's what they're thinking. So sometimes I get in trouble when somebody asks me, Grandma's Hands, now, what were you thinking when you wrote that? I was thinking that. And so I don't know how to elaborate on that because I was just sitting around thinking that. You know, and we're all different people at different times, you know. I mean, I'm not such a nice person that I'm sitting around thinking about my grandma. Also, use me and stuff like that crossed my mind. So for me, the best way I can explain that process is one day I was around scratching myself or trying to fry some eggs and something crossed my mind. So if you're lucky, you don't forget it and you write it down before it goes away, you know. And now I could have made up a better story because I'm a firm believer that most of those long stories about how songs came about were made up after the song was done. And so people keep asking you that stuff so you can make up some stories. You want one?
Just on stage with Anthony Hamilton, who paid tribute to you. How does it feel to inspire and pass your tradition on to a young, talented artist like that?
Well, Anthony, you know what? I feel like I've been knowing Anthony all my life, even though he's probably less than half my age. I think Anthony and I share a certain Southern sensibility. Anthony was a barber. Now, most of us know, man, most guys know that the barbershop is the place. You hear the most clever lines in the barbershop. And Anthony, so I try to squeeze him as much as I can, so he tells me barbershop stories. And I tell him old guy stories, you know. And, Anthony and I are on a campaign. We want to change the meaning of a word. I was at this, you didn't ask me to talk this much, but you gave me this thing, so.
You good?
I was at this lunch, one of these power lunches with some very prominent people who I will not name, the Four Seasons, bunch of actors. So everybody's whipping out these big words, you know. Now I'm from Slab Fork, West Virginia. So, you know, they're talking about concomitant, and I can't tell you how many times somebody said marvelous. And I thought, like, man, this ain't feeding into my background. And finally, one guy used the word manumissions. So I knew what those other words meant. I just didn't find any need to use them if I wanted the average person to know what I was saying. So I asked him, I says, what does manumissions mean? And he gave me some cockamamie explanation. And he was using it wrong, because my wife, when I got home, you know, you say anything, she's in that dictionary, man, encyclopedia or whatever, online or somewhere. And manumissions really means the same thing as emancipation. But I thought, like, we already got emancipation. And manumissions has such a sound to it. Don't you like that? Manumissions. So I enlisted Anthony to help me, and you guys can help too. I think we have a better use for that word. You know, a lot of the American language that you see on the news now comes from way back in the black community. You hear the 6 o'clock anchor saying ripped off. Baby daddy, come on, sugar. So I decided that the best use of that word was somebody says, how you doing? Man, oh man, my wife putting me through a whole bunch of manumission. So I knew I hit it when Anthony got in the car. I said, man, I ain't got time for none of these manumissions. So I want you guys to get out there, spread the word. And I'll tell you one last barbershop analogy that I heard. Whatever your political leanings are, you got to admit this was pretty clever. There's a barbershop in L.A. called Tolliver's Barbershop. And I haven't been yet, but I'm going when I get back, because this guy in the L.A. Times quoted Mr. Tolliver while he was cutting hair. They were discussing politics. And he said, if Obama walked on water, somebody would say, see, I told you he couldn't swim. So that... Ask me another question before the old timers kicks in on me.
When you did just live at Carnival,
Uh-huh.
did you expect it to become as big as it became? Because I mean, that was really one of the, I think to this day, one of the best live albums.
Well, I've tried never to get caught up in the revolution of rising expectations. So mostly I try to do whatever's in front of me, you know, whether it's sawing a piece of wood or driving a nail or making some music. And when you do something, I think you kind of have an idea that somebody might like it, or you wouldn't do it. You hope they like it. But I've been blessed that people have held on to that stuff much longer than I thought. And I'm very humbly thankful for that.
Do we have any additional questions? Okay, we have to take two more.
Yeah.
Your major player in the 70s. Were you ever approached, did you use it for motion pictures?
Yeah. But never any that I wanted to do. I mean, hey,
We gotta take one
man.
more. We gotta take one more.
Being growing up in the 30s and the 40s and coming of age in the 50s and having gone through trying to prove yourself, I remember being one of the first black aircraft mechanics that a lot of people had seen. And when you're 17 or 18 years old and you show up somewhere and you got a bunch of grown men, experienced grown men, who have absolute authority over you, trying to convince you that you're not smart enough to drain the oil out of a damned airplane. Then when you evolve and you go, and in my case, I decided in my 30s that I would like to do some music. And then when I was able to do it, and then somebody comes to me and tells me they're offering me an opportunity, and they shove in front of me, they screen for me, Cotton Comes to Harlem. I worked too hard as a regular guy. And I knew that all that clown stuff, when I was trying to prove to somebody that you could trust me, that if I work on an airplane, you can fly it. And then when I wanted to advance, and all some guy wants to tell me is something stupid that he saw on some TV show or some movie, I made a decision that I didn't want to be involved in that. And I probably, I probably didn't make certain friends, and I certainly didn't make certain money. But I never wanted to embarrass myself with that stuff, because I knew what it was like to be a regular guy with a regular job, trying to prove to somebody that I am smart enough. And you don't have to be a genius to be a mechanic, you know what I mean? So I probably should have answered that question more simply, but that's how I felt it.
Mr. Bill Withers. If you could stay 1 second. We're going to bring up Kool the Gang for a photo op with Mr. Withers. Stay right here for 1 second, okay?
One of the trophies.
Yeah. Stayed silly and I never would have. Okay.
And we're going to have on the other.
You want to go on the, why don't we have, move down a little bit? Yeah, and do it like that. Who's the lady?
Original Kool daughter.
Oh, okay. So Bill Withers and Kool the Gang. And lady.
And lady.
And lady.
And one of your father?
Gang. Oh.
Oh, the gang. He was gang, all right? Sit your, hold your
words up.
Yeah. Ron knows how to hold it. Okay, this way, please.
Let's go to the left. Let's get up over
here. Can I get that?
Good, kind of directed.
And then let's go to the right.
Right.
Left. I think it's
There we go. And then come over to the left. Look over here. This way.
We're confused.
This way.
the other left. The other left.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Withers.
Mr. Withers. Let's just get Kool and lady
No,
and
I'm
gang.
doing this now. You gotta take some. You gotta do this all night.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You gotta do it till I pass.
Let's get you all together, then we'll do some Q&A. We're gonna get another photo.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Let's start in the center. We're over here.
Hold your water, Coco.
It's okay. You didn't get it. Let's come over here to the left. Right here. And then we're going to shoot over here to the right. You didn't get it? Okay, we'll get you back. Why don't you just scoot in here? Scoot in there. Scoot in there.
Okay. All right.
And we're going to do questions, right?
Okay.
We got time?
Okay.
And then we're going to do some questions.
We're going to do a couple of questions.
They just came back from a flight. So do we have any questions for Kool the Gang? Okay, let's get some ID. I think this is yours. Just tell us your
Okay,
name.
Robert Koolbell.
Robert Koolbell. Pass it down. Tell us your name.
My name is August. My father is Charles Smith, the lead guitarist for Kool the Gang. So he's 2 years ago, he went home to heaven, and so I'm here for the first time accepting the award.
Ronald Khalees Bell, his brother, Kool.
Do we have questions? Ladies and gentlemen, questions? Going once? We have a question over here. Ivory? How does it feel to be honored tonight? Can we keep it down, please? Shh.
Yeah, it's definitely an honor to receive the award for the R&B Foundation because of what it stands for, what it's done for, what it does for musicians who has hard times and struggling. And it's good to have an organization like this to support the musicians, the bands. So it's very good. It's definitely an honor to accept this award.
I got the last name.
Of course, Summer Madness is like a classic. How did you come up with the concept for that song? And this is still a classic.
I'm going to let my brother answer that question because he created the Summer Madness was the part of another song called You Don't Have to Change. And the vamp of You Don't Have to Change became Summer Madness. He's going to elaborate on that a little bit.
A small bit. The trumpet player, Robert Spike Mickens, that's his composition. And what we did, we separated the song, and at that time the synthesizer was becoming popular, and we were the first ones to experiment with it using the portamento to give that ascending sound, and had no idea that it would be what it is today.
I have no idea. I mean,
Honored, yes. Anyone that does it, it's it's still for me. It's just a gift from the Creator. Oh, loved it. Yeah.
Long way from Battle of the Bands, Frankie Beverly and Rosso and Soda Valiant to Staten Avenue Band performing at Olympia Bar.
Yeah. I remember those days. Yeah, Fat Larry's band. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah, those were the days. Oh, yeah. Well, thank you.
Well, we have a CD out. It's been out for about 6 or 7 months called Kool the Gang, Still Cool. We still around, still hanging. Yeah, and working on some new projects for next year. My brother's developing a TV sort of a special thing called Real Cool TV.
Yeah, it's just Real Cool TV. All the TV that's cool and all the TV that's not. It's internet streaming television show. Keep watching.
any other question? We'll take one more. They just got in from a flight from Europe, so we're just going to take one more question. Do we have any more?
Yeah, we started back in 1964 as the Jazzy Acts, and then the name was changed to the Soul Town Band. Then it was changed to Kool and the Flames. We had to change that because you had James Brown and the Famous Flames, and we didn't want to fool around with the Godfather at the time. Then we changed the name to Kool and the Gang in 1969, so our very first record came out in 1969. But yeah, you're right, we started as the Jazzy Acts in 1964. Well, I think it was a natural transition because, you know, we were young. I was only like 14 years old. And the Soul Town Band was backing up local talent in Jersey City. So we had to learn all the hits from Motown. Of course, the Funk Brothers, who was, recording most of that music at the time. So we were learning the hits of the 60s, and we incorporated that sound, which became the Kool the Gang sound. We came out with our first record in 1969. Then, of course, we had all the funk and jungle boogie, Hollywood swinging, funky stuff, Summer Madness. And then we had to make another transition because you had Earth, Wind & Fire with Philip Bailey and Maurice White. You had the Commodores with Lionel Richie. And we said, hey, it's time for us to make a change. And that's when J.T. Taylor joined the band, and we had the hits of the 80s.
Thank you very, very much. I'm going to bring up the chairman of the Rhythm and Blues Foundation and prominent entertainment attorney, Mr. Kendall Minter. Stay right there. I'm going to do a photo op.
Yes, we must give a hand to Mr. Kendall Minter.
Please give him a hand.
The Road Warriors.
Deanna? Let's take a photo. Let's start in the center, please.
Right here?
Stay right here.
Thank you. A little earlier, we talked about the fact that back in the 40s and the 50s,
R&B artists did not get their just due from the record labels when they signed their contracts. So they had royalty rates that were abysmally low. They were never recouped, so for all of the records that were sold, they would actually never see any royalties. So the only money they made was money on the road. So Hal Beagle and a number of others got together on behalf of Ruth Brown and Laverne Baker and other artists and met with Time Warner and Atlantic Records, and through a series of meetings with the chairman of Time Warner and Ahmet Ertegun, who was the chair of Atlantic Records at the time, they agreed to lead the pack. And fortunately, what they did was they set up a fund from which the Rhythm and Blues Foundation was started. They rolled back all those royalty accounts so that they would zero them out, so that as of record number one, after they were zeroed out, they began to get royalties. Several other labels followed suit over the years, but the idea of the Rhythm and Blues Foundation is to perpetuate the legacy of rhythm and blues, and also, more importantly, now we act as a safety net for those artists who are unfortunately falling on hard times. And the economy being what it is, there are more and more folks that are in the trenches these days just scrapping to make ends meet. There are a lot of folks that are outperforming, but we're trying to address and help those that are not as fortunate. So with sponsorship and with donations, that's what we do literally every week. We field the phone calls. We take care of the requests for financial or medical assistance, sometimes assistance with funeral and burial expenses, but whatever it is, we're happy to be here and we're happy for the support that we get from the media, so thank you.
We have another question over here.
Yes. Hey, April.
I want to ask you about the criteria, because sometimes a little bit of what you're saying, what it sounds like some of the stuff the artists are going to today, that's another question.
Sure.
But I want to ask you the criteria as far as, like, does it have to be 50, 60?
Sure, it's a good question. We have. I mean, our criteria basically is you have to be a recording artist somewhere between the 40s and the 70s. So if you fall within that category, regardless of whom you recorded for, we have a fund. We have 3 different funds. We have the Universal Motown Fund for artists that were on Motown Records, or any of the artists that were on Universal or any label that Universal Records has acquired, Chess, Janis, and a bunch of other independent labels over the years. Also, the Gwendolyn B. Gordy Fuqua Fund, which was set up by Berry Gordy through a generous donation from the Gordy family, will take care of all the Gordy and Tamla and Motown artists. And then we have a general fund that we founded initially under the name of Doc Pomus, and since many other founders have come and gone in the interim, we call it the Doc Pomus and the Founders Fund. So between the 3 funds, we have close to $3 million in endowments that we basically manage, and that's what's used to facilitate the grants that come in. And I can happily say, up until now, in the past 20 years, we have not had to deny a request from anyone who was qualified for the funds.
Do we have another question?
Just a thought here, Kendall. I'm really glad to see the progress that the organization has made over the past 2 or 3 years. It really has, elevated the game in a lot of ways. But I'm wondering, have you guys looked into or thought about, or do you have any feelings on expanding the idea of the Rhythm and Blues Foundation overseas? And the reason I say that is because I get tons and tons of email, and sometimes more email from overseas, people who are rhythm and blues fans, who really want to see the artists, who want to support the artists, who want to buy the music, and all of the good things that sometimes people in the United States don't seem to think is very important. Do you have any plans to do any outreach overseas into other markets to try to elevate this thing even more?
Well, our greatest vehicle for outreach right now is the internet, as it is for most folks. So what we're trying to do, and if you haven't been to our website recently, we've just relaunched the website. It's incredible with all the content and the graphics and the visuals, and it's very user-friendly. So that's our primary outreach tool right now, because what we want to do is to make our mission something that's visible and visual to folks not only here in America, but also around the world. So people in Japan or in South America or in Europe or wherever they might be who are fans and love the music and respect the pioneers who created the music can participate in what we do. Because again, our main mission to try to stay on course is really to collect funds, to give them away. and we give them away to those R&B pioneer artists who are now in need. So since we have an international platform now and it's expanded by the internet, we're trying to use that as a tool to let folks know all around the world that this is what we do. Please help us. And then in so doing, we're also able to act as some kind of support and promotion for when those artists are going overseas to perform, so that you have a built-in fan base, and that information is also on our website.
I guess what I'm suggesting to you is that when I look at events that happen overseas, like the North Sea Jazz Festival, and some of these big soul music festivals that happen in places like Italy and other places, it seems to me that the R&B Foundation could piggyback on some of those things to actually make more money from people who are anxious to spend it.
Yeah, another way to get the word out locally and on the ground. It's a good idea. Yeah, so we're always looking for new ideas to be able to spread the message and get the word out so people can know that this is who we are, this is why we're here, and if you really support it, please give us some assistance, because in so doing, you're assisting the artist whose music that you love.
We have a question over here.
Yes. Is it a priority for the foundation to build a, as you call it now, bricks and mortar museum headquarters so that you can bring tourists to Philadelphia and have them not only share in the history, but again, join the cause and become more involved in the good work of the foundation?
Well, as the Philadelphia community is probably aware, that's been a vision of Kenny Gamble for many, many years. And as a result of that, he and his team have gone to work on the creation of the R&B Center, identifying space and creating funds from which to build the center. And the R&B Foundation 200% supports that. And once it's established, we will be housed in the R&B Center, and we will be an intricate part of all of its activities. So yes, hopefully not too far down the road either.
We could take one more question. Do we have another one? Thank you very
Great.
much.
On behalf of the foundation, I'd like to thank each member of the media for your support. Thank you.
Why don't you stay and take a photo with Lalah Hathaway and Mom? So we're going to bring up Lalah Hathaway, daughter of Donny Hathaway, one of our. Way over here. And we're going to go over to the right. Okay. And then we're going to go over to the left. Let's get the name introduction so they can copy it properly and not hold this.
My name is Lalah Legacy Award.
Do we have questions? I know someone's got to have a question.
Good night.
Question over here?
I was excited. I do a lot of tributes, and so I know how important it is to carry on the legacy of those that came before us. And the Rhythm and Blues Foundation does that year after year after year after year. And so it's been an honor. You say an honor? Honor.
Additional question? Question over here?
Lalah, I last saw you at the Gospel Recording Jazz Part 3 recording in
Actually should, because that's when the special guest is presented her with.
I think so. I think they mixed it, and it's a live DVD. I'm not sure when it'll be out, but it's done.
I think you have like 15 more minutes.
Miss Hathaway, how are you having?
Hi.
We're going to give you a mic. How about that?
You got distortion.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Sorry about that. Miss Hathaway, let me first of all commend you on your version of Fever with Mr. Sample. I thought it was absolutely a great version. I play it a lot on my show. Are you going to continue on in the jazz vein, or are you going to come back into the vein as your dad?
Both. I have a record that just came out June 3rd, and it's called Self-Portrait. We're on the second single of that. And I'll always be making all kinds of music, jazz music, gospel, blues, soul music. Anything that falls under the umbrella of soul music, I will try and be there.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And you.
Can you tell us your website, please?
It's LalahHathaway.com. We have TV up there. We have all kinds of really cool video and footage and home movies and all kinds of fun stuff. And really great participants.
Thank you.
Additional questions? Is that it? We have a question over here.
Have you heard from Roberta Flack? regarding this honor, since she and your dad were so,
No.
You gave us a great concert in 10 languages.
Thank you very much.
When are you coming to New York?
I don't know, but all of my dates are always at my website, which is LalahHathaway.com, on the Come See Me page. I'm sorry, I don't know my schedule right now. I'll be in Atlanta soon, next week? You don't know. Chicago, 18th, 19th, somewhere around there. But everything is at my website, so you can find out there. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And your representative has your glasses and bags and.
Timeless, and it is on Verve Records. I am officially a new Universal Music Group baby, and my label is here supporting me, and it's a really amazing time because this album Timeless is about taking classic R&B and not making it over or making it new, but making it accessible to the generation that's here now. And we did songs that range from Elton John and the Beatles to Donny Hathaway, who I was able to tribute tonight, and I was so honored to tribute, and Stevie Wonder. But what we did was we took more obscure songs, so there's songs that wouldn't be the obvious number ones, and put our spin on it. But we kept it classic, so hence the title Timeless. So I hope you enjoy that. Yes, ma'am. It felt absolutely incredible to perform tonight, especially knowing that Lalah and her mom were in the audience, because I respect the artistry of Lalah so much, and her family actually, in an interesting way, has just been very gracious to me. Her sister Kenya used to sing background for me, and I met another sister in Chicago, but his music has influenced me tremendously. So tonight, I just was deeply honored.
What is the best way for artists like yourself to help bridge that gap that you're talking about, like on your new release? What's the best artist way for do that?
I think that the best way for us to bridge the gap is to get out and do it old school, live. I think that one thing that I noticed, I went to a open mic a couple nights ago in New York, and I saw a lot of young singers step on the stage, and there's a certain quality that an artist like a Lalah, you know, that's been in it for years, that's studied, went to school, went to Berkeley, you know. I'm from Howard, you know, we studied and we really dug in there. We did clubs and bars and everything to hone our craft. It's something about that, and church as well. It's something about the time that you put into the craft, and it allows you to develop and grow. And when you perform for this generation, they are amazed because music was taken out of the schools, and they didn't have the same kind of community pushing them towards the fine arts. I don't believe, I'm just making a general statement about it, but I think that one of the things that I would like to do is bring it to them live and get the kids out and say, this is live music again. This is what a band sounds like. This is what live strings sound like. And I think that would help to translate the classic sound and make them appreciate also the pioneers.
We're going to do a quick photo with Lalah.
Love to, yes. And I see you.
We have to do the combination.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff.
He was part of the tribute.
Good looking out there.
You guys could do a real fun shot. It doesn't have to be too posy. Do some candor, guys. No, I'm telling them to get candid. Just talk and do yourself. Do a little closer.
Walk up, Chaka.
Let's go to the center.
That's over here.
They know center.
You're not going crazy now. Come on, one center sounds good.
Big hug. Do one that's fun. Whatever that is.
Whatever's fun.
They're tired.
Come on, man.
That fun will be good enough.
Go to the right.
To the right. You know,
And
we're
over here
discussing
to-
it right now. We're actually negotiating a deal right now.
What's up with the royalties?
Thank you. Are we in it? Thank you very much. Got one over here.
That's it. Got it. Thank you.
I didn't look like I was on the phone.
Thank you so much. Lalah Hathaway, y'all. Phenomenal talent. My God. Yes,
You're
ma'am.
welcome, sweetie. Do we have any additional questions? You were telling us about your album. We're over here. Go ahead.
Doing any duets with Shantae on this new album?
On this album, I am not doing any duets. What we decided to do was really concentrate on the solo. We did duets for like 7 years. I mean, ever since I've been married, we did duets, which was great. I must say that it was a blessing because it helped to establish the foundation of my marriage. You know how it is in Hollywood sometimes, particularly with the actors. You know, you get married, and the next thing you know, you're not even in the same house for months. And then you do a film or you do a project with somebody else, and then you think you've fallen in love with them, and next thing you know, you divorce, and we weren't going to have that. So our manager came up with the idea about the duets, and I think it was the best thing for us. But after the 7 years, we think we're ready. So Love the Woman, I'm going to promote her. Then Love the Woman, Shantae Moore is in stores now, too. Isn't it great? It's great. Yeah, she set the bar really high. I was like, I got to do something different here. Oh, my gosh. Oh, she was just here for Unity Day, right? Yeah. Yeah, because we did the duets for so long, you're not going to see us together for a while. If you see us do a duet something, come on out, because it's not going to happen as much anymore. We need the double income in our house. Oh, my gosh. We good?
Any questions? Any additional questions for Kenny?
Thank you all for having me. Thank
Kenny,
you.
give them your website.
Oh, KennyLattimore.com. Please check it out. And the MySpace is attached. And I'm putting blogs up. What'd you say? Black Planet. I got a Black Planet up too. Yep, you're right. I'm putting some blogs up, and I'm going to talk about this night in my next blog.
And your album is out, and
the
it's
album is in
timeless?
stores right now, Timeless. And check it out, and hope you like it. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Kenny. Everyone give a round of applause.
I'm so good. I'm so good seeing you. And Kendra's downstairs cheering it out.
Oh,
they are.
So we're here in the center. And then we're going to go over here to the right. And I'll definitely stand back, absolutely. And then we're over here to the right. She's coming up to get you, okay? And I need a mic. Do you want with the awards also? Okay.
You want to do this ballot and pass it out? I guess. Open up your work. Oh, your.
I'm just bringing some.
Oh, great. I get two of them. I got one in the back. Too.
It's not yours, man. Here's yours.
Okay, all right.
Hey, yours.
Just trying to spread it out.
Here yours behind me, yours. There yours.
Here to the middle? Okay. Okay. No, this is good. All right. Let's get the photos in the center. Who you got? We're over here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We like it, right?
And don't forget over here to the right. Okay.
Thank you, Gus.
Do we have questions? You know what? Why don't we do some roll call so we just know the names? I'm going to pass the mic right here, and then you just pass it down.
Hi, my name is Bob Babbitt, and I'm really happy to be here.
I'm Eddie Willis, and I'm glad to be here also.
And I'm Uriel Jones, the drummer.
Dennis Coffey, glad to be here. That's it, man. We were cranking. Pardon? Oh, yes, you're right. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, okay. Lost me there for a minute.
Do we have questions? You got to have questions, right? So, Funk Brothers.
Dennis, yes. I've been a big follower of the funk brothers and, of course, your individual career. Have you done anything lately or any of your past albums out?
There's one that was kind of snuck out of Spain, but I'm not sure how that got out. It was a compilation of my work. We're talking about re-releasing some of my Sussex stuff, and I think Ace is going to release some of my Westbound stuff now in Europe.
I had an opportunity to visit Motown Museum several years ago, and the tour guide really talked a lot about you guys, even before standing on the verge of Motown was even thought of, I guess. But they really had some really good stories to tell about you guys.
Great.
Well, my question would be, right here. Okay, split. I don't need a mic, I'm right. Okay, yeah, all right. How has the impact of Stanley and Cheryl's Motown, the motion picture, enhanced your career and then your friendship?
The friendship has grown unbelievably strong, really, and especially amongst the guys you see sitting up here. The one thing that the film did for everybody was there were a lot of people, and when we were doing the sessions, and I think everybody feels the same way, we were happy to be working, and we were all bringing up families, and we weren't thinking about maybe all these years that there would still be such a huge impact. One, two, yeah. We weren't thinking all these years there would still be such a huge impact. Not back there. If you said that, we'd say you're crazy. But what caught up with a lot of the guys was the fact that there were no credits, and a lot of other people were taking credit for playing on the songs. And when we moved to different areas around the country, that's the word we were hearing, and that hurt a little bit. And now it's nice, especially for the guys that passed away that never got to see this, and now they're getting their recognition too. And that's real important, real important. And like I said up there tonight, I said that we're here to keep their names alive, believe me. And we are having fun though, we are having fun.
So could you briefly talk about the importance of music education for our younger ones, like in the grade school and high school, and how that should be?
You know, it's strange that you would bring that up, you know, because that has been in Funk Brothers' mind for maybe a year. That you know, we would love to like go into the schools, you know, and take our instruments or whatever, you know, and not only show them on the guitar, the bass, or whatever, you know, but just to talk about the situation, you know, how they can go about reaching that goal, you know. And I could say a whole lot, man, you know, but I keep it a little bit quiet. But this, you know, this film, you know, that we did, you know, that did a lot to me, really, you know. I love doing it, and it brought us together. Like Babby did say, but you know, the spiritual part of it also. And it made it made me love people more by going on these gigs. And these little ones from here on up until 70, 80, you know, they can talk to you about these tunes that we have done. And it really thrills me deeply, you know, and that's what I would love to do. And I know the rest of the guys, we love to go into school, we love to go into colleges also, and just spread our word and really show and talk about what we can teach them, what we do know, how we went about it, you know. So the film has did plenty for me, and I'm thankful.
I'd like to add to that, I got a master's degree in education, and I've been more than willing if we get something together and pass it around. I've done a lot of training and things like that as well, so I believe in education.
Yeah, I wanted to add a little bit to that about, like to say, what effect did it have on us doing that, Standing in the Shadows of Motown. Before that film come out, you know, anywhere you go, people would say, oh man, the Temps, man, they sounding good, they throwing down. Stevie Wonder's throwing down, hitting this and that. once the film came out and people saw all about what had happened, about the role we played, they looked at, they listened to the tunes different. Now they said, man, the Temptation is jamming and the Funk Brothers is back there kicking them, you know, stuff like that. And it made a big difference in our life. I mean, you may think I'm sounding big-headed to say it, but it gave us bragging rights, you know, because you could have two people sitting up there and somebody asks you a question and say, man, you played that? Say, no, I'm one of the Funk Brothers. No, you ain't, I'm the Funk Brothers. There wasn't no way we could prove it. Now, everybody know who the Funk Brothers is, and it means a lot to us. It was terrible. So we had to sneak and do sessions 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes.
And sometimes, you remember at United, when 5 o'clock in the morning, Seltzer came and was knocking on the door. We were recording on a Sunday morning.
Sure
5 a.m., he was knocking on the back door and come in there.
Well, I will say that, again, I repeat that everybody knows about most of
Going to Chicago, we would go down and muscle shows, you know, big company, yeah, man, and there was another tune we did, well, many, but you know, maybe Bob can remember some of them, man.
I'll tell you, there was a lot of them. There was, because there not only were there companies, other companies in Detroit, there were people coming in from all over the world wanting that sound and those musicians. And when Holland Dozier went on their own, it was the same guys that you're looking at them on the stage. And there were more records for more people. But I want to say one thing that Eulah said about bragging rights. I want to brag a little bit now. Some of us went on and as represented the Funk Brothers as best and took with us the Motown, the traditional Motown roots with us if we went to other cities. Well, I happen to come to the East Coast, and there's a big band here and companies called MFSB, right? Everybody in Philly knows that. Well, I did a lot of records with them, and I'm proud of that, too.
We ended up doing a visit over to, yeah, Motown Records. And just after seeing the movie, I kind of put a whole new perspective on what you guys have done musicianly. I mean, just being in my mid-30s or whatever, being able to appreciate, you know, you're a baby. The sound, the Motown.
I'm gonna try to let someone else answer that because, you know, my ears buzz 24/7. Noise and music too loud, this and that, and I can hardly hear, so I'm gonna let someone else. I didn't hear your question well.
Did you have a question?
That was the Motown Museum.
Yes, I do. One last question over here.
Guys, true or false, you talk about working on other sessions. Jackie Wilson higher and higher and whispers get louder. Is that you as well?
I did that.
Tell us what it was like, Steve. Now, was that done in Detroit or?
Yeah, it all comes out. All the guys didn't do it, but myself,
In Detroit. Benny Benjamin.
and Joe.
Benny Benjamin.
Oh, by the way, we did some Johnny Hooker also. Plenty. All right. We did
A lot of stack.
Yeah, we did, like Eddie Willis and I did I Want to Testify for George Clinton. We played on that, and we did the Dramatics in the Rain, and we did all those things. And then I used to run down and do Wilson Pickett and Muscle shows, doing Don't Knock My Love, all that stuff. So we've been playing on tons of sessions, all of us here forever. Motown and non-Motown.
Can you gentlemen just repeat your names again?
I'm Eddie Willis, guitar.
I'm Uriel Jones, drums.
Dennis Coffey, guitar.
Bob Babbitt, can I say just one quick thing? I don't know if you know this or not, but there was talk of doing a film in 1990, and for 11 years, nobody cared about the musicians. It was always, well, who's the artist? Is Stevie Wonder going to be there? Or the Temptations? Nobody cared until two musicians who had invented something for Microsoft. They became the backers. If it wasn't for those guys, well, that film would have never came out. Now, it's changing. Everybody's doing documentaries, and there's a great Musicians Hall of Fame in Nashville now too. So thank God for that.
Let's give it up for the Funk Brothers, everyone. We're going to bring Chuck D out. Oh, and Kindred. The right is okay? Go over here to the right.
Yeah, but I won't.
Todd's here too. Peace and love. Bye. All right, y'all be ready.
Be ready.
Mommy has to go to bed.
Yes, sir.
Will you take questions? One or two? One or two. Make them good. Who got a good question? Here you go.
I'll bash you.
I'll take the award for you.
Yes, would you? Thank you.
All right, Calvin.
He's all the way in the back.
Now we're in the question part now.
What was it like being given this award?
I don't think so.
Presented this award by
Now tell me. You heard how I was trying to talk afterwards, right? I was a babbling idiot. I don't know how they hid it from me. I don't know how they kept it from me because we're not in Detroit. If we were Detroit, I would have said, possible. But, you know, she and I are so much alike in that we're real homebodies. I don't go nowhere. And only somebody only she could bring me out of my house to pay tribute to her. You know, it's only her, really. I'm not playing. And I know that it was the same thing for her. And she's not only that, she traveled to another city. I'm like, so I'm sitting here with Dion, and Dion said, when somebody, whoever it was, announced Aretha Franklin, she said, ooh, the tears just popped out, hit me. She said, one slaps and pop, hit her in the face. But I am really honored, you know, and my sister has said to me, you know, because I was being so difficult, because I'm so tired. I just come off the road. I've been working nonstop for the last 4 months, you know, been giving and giving and giving. And she realized how much I needed this. I needed to renew my meaning and reason why I do what I do. And my love level need to come up some. And this did it. This did it. I don't resent you niggas like I used to. No, but she said, you will never guess. She said to me, just before I left, she said, when I was going to the bathroom, she says, so who do you think's going to introduce you? I said, I don't know, Bonnie Raitt would be great. You know, I love her. You know, she's brilliant. Honey, and then my sister said, oh, okay. And I got worried. Because I said, oh, hell, she didn't treat that right. She didn't treat it right. Then there was somebody big. And I never. So that's how I felt.
Thank you very much.
Soliloquy.
Chaka Khan, everyone.
Thank you so much.
That's it. They're done.
Is it a real intelligent, high-end question? Oh, you want to talk to her?
Just have the award to your lips.
You want her to what?
You want the award to my lips? You're tripping.
Careful.
Thank you, Jackie.
Stage ready. Right, we get it right. Really was playing drums, right?
Back in the center.
Yeah.
Let's go. Beautiful.
It's all right.
Hi, you something else. Ooh, baby. Oh, look. Let me tell you something.
You got your camera? That's your side. Your side?
Thank you. I hope so. She keep coming back here like this.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's join Bonnie Raitt in our finale this evening. Let's welcome back all of the fantastic performers from tonight's program. Give them a nice round of applause.